Hi everyone, in this video I want to talk about ascension related and twin flame related spiritual attack as well as spiritual merge that can happen between twin flames. So when we are on the ascension journey, or when we are a light worker, and when all of us are currently on the journey to awakening into becoming better, higher versions of ourselves, all of us therefore have a life purpose of understanding ourselves at the inner self at a more deeper level. And while every one of us has been slowly awakening to understanding our own self at a deeper level, everyone has their own journey of it, where some people might be realizing when they have certain diseases how certain life factors, emotional factors, life conditions, lifestyle choices, childhood traumas and wounds, past life and love experiences, all of that has influenced how we behave in a particular manner on earth and in our present life. So, those of us who have already done some inner healing of our disease states, inner healing of our mental and emotional health issues, inner healing of our parental wounds or family wounds or ancestral wounds, or who have got the therapy for it, all of us, when we have actually reached that stage where we have done a significant and major chunk of healing within ourselves, and we have balanced and aligned within self, that is the time when some people get involved in the twin flame journey if they have done high enough spiritual work in their life for the concept of twin flames to be introduced to them. So, which is what happened to me when I had done certain things that allowed me to cross certain emotional thresholds, emotional and physical life related steps that allowed me to eventually understand that I am a twin flame. If I hadn't done certain inner work or made certain lifestyle choices that were aligned with God's path for my life journey, I wouldn't have known that I was a twin flame, because I would not even have likely come back to India, because almost 8-9 years back I was living in US. I went through a major phase called the dark night of the soul. At that time I didn't know any of these concepts like the dark night of the soul. I had been introduced to the twin flame concept, but I had never delved deeply into it, so I didn't know anything deeper about the twin flame concept except the terminology, and that you can have intense feelings for your twin flame. And also I had also had, because of my past childhood trauma and wounds of neglect from childhood days to the kind of partners that I kept attracting in my life, I had a series of life experiences that led me to finally realize that I don't want to pursue a certain way of living that I have been pursuing so far. I need change, I need healing. I wanted to go back to my roots in India, come back to my roots in India, to understand actually. At that time, I didn't know why I wanted to come back, except that I wanted more deeper connections with other people. So I came back to India. But even though I came back to India a few years back, and then after I came back to India, slowly I realized all the places where I was betrayed by my family, many of the places where I have been betraying myself by not understanding how unbalanced my life had been so far. As a result, and right now look at me, how am I looking? Because I have a lot of wounds I'm still healing from. I have currently kind of trauma in my life that I can't work through by myself. I need help working through this trauma, and but they're not the kind of help that a therapist can provide, not the kind of help that like therapists can provide a certain kind of help, but I need more help than what a therapist can provide. I need actual, factual, realistic, real life intervention in certain aspects of my life that I never realized until now was actually under some kind of covert abuse and spiritual attack and other things unknown to me. And the more I realized about these spiritual attacks, the more I realized about the covert abuse, more I realized about narcissistic abuse, more I got into understanding deeply about these aspects of my life that were hidden from me, because that is what covert abuse is. You don't understand that secretly someone was deliberately abusing you, because you never realized that you were being abused, because everything seemed, when you are like growing up with abuse, sometimes many things from our childhood get normalized by people. As a result of that, the things that I didn't earlier question, or didn't find very really that strange when I was living in US, now I started questioning, like, why did my family not contact me for so many years when I was living in US? Why was I always kept like an alien in some ways, alienated by my family about family decisions, family choices, family invitations? And I'm an Indian, so imagine, Indians are always like sharing so many things, so many lifestyle choices, so many steps of their life jointly together, and they're always sharing their life so much. So it was strange to me that why was that not present in my life in a way that most Indians can do. And initially I thought it was maybe because my mother passed away 20 years back, and that was the reason I had normalized being alienated from my family. But when I myself came back to India, and I also, second reason I ascribed to this alienation from my family was the fact that I was living in US, I was working and leading a busy life in US for 13 years. So because of which I thought, okay, being a busy working professional, and because I'm just too much inwardly focused, that's why I haven't seen my family or been with my family in a way I could have been if my mother hadn't died, or and if I hadn't lived outside India. But when I did come back to India, and that's why I came back to India, part of the reason was that. And when I did come back to India, I left my job. There were many reasons for me leaving the job. There were many reasons for me to leave the US life. They were all partly related to my present life circumstances at that time, as well as my higher purpose. So after leaving all that, a lucrative job, a lucrative lifestyle, a independence led lifestyle, when I came back to India, I wanted just to connect and reconnect with family, and also friends, because I missed my friends as much as I missed my family. And I had, in some ways, had a really good childhood with the group of friends I had. It wasn't like the best and most fabulous childhood, but it wasn't the most traumatic either. It was a normal, average, happy childhood. So, being and I am also a very minimalistic, not grasping kind of a person. That's why whatever minimalistic things happened to me, I found joy in everything that I experienced as a child. Most things I experienced as a child. I also had some childhood wounds related to things that I didn't enjoy as a child, which were related to child abuse parameters, which now I realize that I was being abused as a child. But at that time, I didn't realize it, because they were all very superficial aspects of abuse, not like very covert or not very overt abuse. And because I didn't have overt abuse happening to me, I didn't realize that covert abuse was going on with me. And all the covert abuse related things started unfolding for me. The more I lived in India, the more I did meditation, the more I did self reflection about what happened and unfolded in my life as a child. There was certain twin flame related journey that unfolded for me, which made me realize that there was a huge betrayal trauma going on behind the scenes from my family that I wasn't even aware about, related to the twin flame journey, as well as my marital prospects and other things. And again, being covertly abused and being part of a family where I have been alienated a lot by the family, I have still now not received confirmation about many of the things that have actually transpired behind my back, because everyone just simply assumed that I was the one doing something wrong when I wasn't doing anything at all, because I didn't even know what was going on. and the people behind, between the other relationships that were happening and unfolding in my life. There were many people in between our relationships that interfered in the relationship, were doing some manipulations in the relationship that caused some of my relationships to fall apart without me realizing that manipulations were present in the reasons behind my relationships falling apart. I didn't know that. Now I realize it, but even though now I realize it, getting proof of those manipulations are difficult, because these are like years of manipulation, decades of lying or partial truths or cheating or hidden truths that I am completely unaware about. Now, except that my awareness came to me through meditations, through guidance, spiritual guidances, and through outside sources than my own family or friends who were doing this betrayal trauma. So I am currently working through a betrayal trauma related phase where I really need help from people. I have asked help from people who could provide me some insights directly about some of the abuse or trauma or covert things or manipulations that have happened behind the scenes. But when people are enablers of abuse, or people do not want to help for some karmic reasons, they will not help. So even though I have asked help, sought help from family to get the right insight about this, people sometimes don't connect. People with don't allow the path of least resistance or path of best outcome to unfold in other people's lives, for which it's not something I can do. It's something that they have now incurred a karma about by blocking something that they could have easily resolved for me in an instant. And everything I got as a guidance from universe. It's not that it's not provable. It can be easily provable. Like, say if I have got the guidance that I may be a adopted child or partially adopted child, meaning maybe just related to one parent and not the other, that can be easily proven by doing some genetic tests. But right now I also got some diseases. Right now I also got some other life issues which kept me blocked. And this was a block set up by the universe, because the universe assured me that where you are stuck, you're not supposed to do anything. This is other people's karma. Those who were involved in hiding things from me, they have some karma to clear right now. And if they do not clear that karma, it is on them. They have been responsible for doing something karmically and not learning from their karmic mistakes. Because I was completely like a lamb who was being slaughtered without knowing that I am getting slaughtered. Some of the things that have unfolded in my life are literally like that. So I have let that go. I have released that to the universe. I have surrendered part of it, except the pain of the betrayals that I have to heal from. I've released and submitted that to the universe and God. But and I have been sitting with this information for many years now. But sitting with the information, first, when you get these information, you will deny it. Then you might get angry about it. Then you might get sad or depressed about it. Then you might, and because I was also going through high degree of spiritual warfare at the same time, then the next thing that also happened was I had to go through understanding and processing what's going on with the spiritual warfare. Even now I still don't know all the steps of resolution of the spiritual warfare. So anything that I can resolve using my own knowledge, using the knowledge of a therapist, using the knowledge of a doctor, using the knowledge of the healthcare related education that I have already got, that as a healthcare practitioner I was practicing in US. Anything that is workable by me, I have worked on it. But there are many pieces to any human's life on earth that are not workable by themselves. They have to work on it in collaboration with other humans. They have to work on it in conjunction with other humans. They have to also allow God to work on it if it is a very complex problem that can't be solved with just 1-2 easy steps or even 100 easy steps of healing or therapy or medicine. because I was at a juncture where medicine couldn't help, therapy couldn't help, seeing a therapist or a medical practitioner wasn't helping. I have never seen a therapist, but the kind of therapists that were accessible to me in India, based on the salary I had currently, I wouldn't be getting those kind of therapists that I find online outside India. And even if I got those therapists, they wouldn't help me solve, like, yeah, therapists can tell me you are undergoing covert abuse, you have emotional trauma, you have betrayal trauma. They can give me the diagnosis and analysis and maybe some medicine, or help me in coach myself through those traumas. But actual resolving of those abuse related problems of my life, that therapist can't help, especially if that therapist doesn't even work in the same country as where I live. They can't come and help me, like, even if they know that I'm getting abused by 10 people or 2 people or 3 people of my life. They can tell me you're getting abused, they can teach me that these are the things that are contributing to abuse in your life, these are the ways in which you can maintain authority or separate yourself, go no contact. They can give me all these plans, but I have literally some roadblocks where, even though those kind of therapies and their suggestions can be executed, but there are some limitations because of which I can't execute that completely. I even try to get help, like, say if I thought I was getting abused by 3 people, and I tried to seek help from the others who I didn't think they were abusing me. But as soon as I went to get help from them, I realized that even though they can help me somewhat, but because I had at that time also cancer going on, they were not ready to accept that I have cancer or I have other health issues going on that needs a different kind of home care environment for me to be healthy. And because I was not able to be physically healthy in those places, even though they might have not abused me emotionally or financially or other places, I just couldn't live with them because they were not creating the conditions necessary for a good physical health life for me to coexist with them. And again the universe convinced me these are all part of your karma. You did whatever you could do, seeking the help from where you can get the help. I went and asked help from various sources, depending on where the problem was, because I'm a very good problem solver. So I knew where problems and not just a problem solver, my intuitive skills are also good enough for me to know that when I'm going and accessing help from somewhere, where is the limitation of that system, of that person, of that particular group of people who will either help or hinder or not help, or be clueless about the fact of the depth of the help that I need. And these are the challenges I've been facing, because that is also part of my higher purpose related journey on earth, to understand where people can help themselves, where people need help from outside sources, where in what level of problem zone the help that is already accessible in the systems on earth are able to provide help to someone, and what are the new systems that have to be brought into place to help those people like me who have some complex life issues going on with them, related to both physical, financial, spiritual and other health impacting factors influencing them. So that's why I'm going through this spiritual attack phase, that's why I'm going through this betrayal trauma phases and other things that are currently plaguing my life. But while that is happening in the background, can I stop living life? No, I have to still live life. Can I just stop not being me? No. And the reason why, if there was a time a few years back when I literally went to such levels where I felt like tomorrow or in the next second I can get a heart attack. Even now there are some days I feel like that. So while my health was deteriorating like that, it was a wake-up call also for me that all this knowledge that I have, it will go to waste if I don't talk about it, if I don't speak about it, if I don't teach other people about it. And I don't know if I'm going to die today, tomorrow, 1 year later, 10 years later. That I don't know. But until I am alive, the knowledge that I've already gathered so far, even if the people in my life are not finding value in it. It's not that there aren't other people who are as lost as me or as deep in trouble as me, or if I have, say, 10 troubles manifesting in my life right now as challenges, maybe they have only 2 challenges, and I can help them resolve those challenges, because it's easier to manage 2 challenges than it is to manage 10 challenges. Or it's easier if their challenges, the 2 challenges that they have, if they are workable by themselves, and all they need is the right guidance to go and work on it, I can provide that guidance. So that's why I'm making these videos. So today, as a result of all these things that I'm doing online, which I have posted a lot of things in my social media pages, and in that, out of all the different things I talk about, some of which are related to healthcare, my past work, but related to what transpired in the last few years after I stopped working professionally as a pharmacist, professionally as a healthcare practitioner, are the things related to spiritual health, are the things related to twin flame, are the things related to ascension, which many people don't have a good clear understanding about, or many people are stuck in the first phase of ascension and have forgotten that in order for collectively the whole earth to wake up to a higher way of living, a lot of people have to wake up to different things now than what they initially woke up to in the initial phases of ascension. So what has happened in ascension now? Let's talk about that. In ascension, what happened was, some people woke up to, say, a climate change problem. Someone woke up to legal problems in their country related to, say, women's rights. Someone woke up to problems related to child abuse. Someone woke up to problems related to financial systems not working for the general population. Someone might have woke up to marital problems. Someone might have woke up to earth pollution related problems. Someone might have woken up to making Greenpeace efforts. Someone could have been woken up to business related problems. Someone could have woken up to healthcare related problems. Someone could have woken up to medical practice and malpractice related problems. So like that, each of us are sociological problems, child education problem, adult education problem, men and women coexisting together as partners related problem. All these, each of us has been, some have woken up to spirituality and God as well. So all these 10-15 different topics that I'm mentioning here, each percentage of people who were awakening initially were a group of people were waking up to one problem zone or 2-3 problem zones. But now collectively we all have to slowly also wake up to every problem related to us and our existence on earth at individual, family, societal, community, country specific, and even global specific levels that are influencing everything that's happening on earth currently. And this is what my video is about, and right now I'm getting a little tired because I'm not feeling well, so I will post a part 2 on this, but I would like to give people some food for thought about what I introduced here, and want people to think about what have you woken up to, and if you can put in your comments what you have so far woken up to, and what do you think is the right way to resolve it, or some ways in which you have thought that this is how it should be resolved. Please post about it, because it's crucial for all of us to awaken and start talking about these topics that have been kept hidden or not outspoken enough or not discussed enough for actual meaningful balanced resolutions to exist on these topics, because each of these topics people are awakening to are the topics that need really well sorted and balanced resolutions now, which is the next step of ascension, where like-minded souls but also balanced and aligned souls have to come together to come up with the right solutions to a problem where things have gone wrong a lot, or even in the mild level. The things that are going wrong at the minor levels are easier to be fixed by just one or two people to get doing work together. But things that are complex level problems, like healthcare related problems, business related problems, that can have global repercussions, or environmental health related problems, again there are certain topics which are global repercussion problems, and those problems, if not addressed the right way, can lead to a lot of long-term harm for many people. As a result, right, wise, balanced choices have to be made next on earth by all of us, which needs all of us to be healed emotionally, healed spiritually, healed mentally, healed physically, be balanced in our attitude towards other humans, be understanding and compassionate about someone with the opposite view than us. All of which, if we don't have that, we can't merge and become a united, awakened, ascending earth. So I will post the next video about ascension and twin flames, that I actually really want to talk about, but this is just an introductory food for thought for people. And again, if you have any comments and questions, please drop a comment. Thank you.